You know, when Woody went to New York back in the 40s, and he had joined the Merchant Marine, spent some time in the Merchant Marine during World War II, and then because of his socialist and communist connections, was thrown out of the Merchant Marine, spent a year in the Army as a cook, and in 46 back in New York. And when he was there, you see, most of this crowd, the folk crowd, the leftist crowd, most of them were first and second generation Eastern and Central European Jewish people. And here was this guy, a cowboy from Oklahoma, that was the real goddamn thing, you know. And they just glommed onto him like, you know, like white on rice. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, guys like, there was a Brooklyn doctor, his son, Elliot Sopokow, who became enamored of Woody Guthrie, and went off and joined a rodeo, the only rodeo that was east of the Mississippi, and started calling himself, as opposed to Elliot Sopokow, he called himself Ramblin' Jack Elliott. You've heard of him. Okay, he spent all his time with Woody, and then there was another kid, a kid from Hibbing, Minnesota, guy Bob Zimmerman, who took his little car and drove to New York City, made a pilgrimage to meet with Woody. And because this guy, I mean, what an incredible, when you ask people, I mean, okay, we're talking those artists, Tom Paxton, Bruce Springsteen just gives unbelievable props. I mean, the influence that this guy had on American music is quite, really spectacular. And let me tell you one little tiny story before we do this song. We were down in Memphis for the Folk Alliance convention at the end of February. And this being the 100th, the centenary of Woody Allen's birthday, obviously there were a number of memorial concerts, and they had a couple of very special concerts. And there was one fellow who had just put out a brand new tribute to the Dust Bowl Balladeer. And you know, he had taken out full-page ads in the program, and he was everywhere handing out his little card. And he had on the work clothes on and the beat-up old hat and stuff. But I caught him out. He was at breakfast with his wife and daughter and maybe his manager or something, arguing. I mean, it's hard enough getting anything in Memphis at breakfast from the waitress anyway. But they were having a big argument about the fact that this cannot be a skim milk decaf latte. Just like Woody would have done, yeah. Just in those hobo jungles back in the day, you know. How far we have come. It's a mighty hard road that my poor hands have hold. My poor feet have traveled a hard, dusty road. Out of the Dust Bowl and westward we rolled. Your mountain deserts were hot and your mountains was cold. I worked in your orchards of peaches and plum. I slept on the ground by the light of the moon. On the edge of a city, you see us, and then we come with the dust and we go with the wind. I worked in your orchard of peaches. I slept on the ground by the light of the grapes from your vine to set on your table that line, sparkling green pastures of plenty from dry desert ground. From the grand cooling down